普瑞和格瑞拉两个人一起来到就是全明星的话，我觉得确实对全国的下路组合都不是很公平吧，因为他们两个磨合了很久嘛，然后也特别熟悉配合方面。然后像我们的话，就是也是来到全明星，就是刚开始磨合配合，也没有很久。
Welcome back to Game 3 of China versus Korea. It may not be fair, but unfortunately for him, he's got to still play. Game 3 is now almost upon us.
And honestly, after those two games, after the Annie top into Gnar, and then the Fiesta team fights there, anything could happen, pastry time. We've rearmed you with some water. We might have some other tank versus tank burst threat game, or maybe we'll have some carries. I'm looking for the carries. It's preseason. Everyone knows that before the meta solidifies itself, you stack as much damage as possible and you get it done. It worked for China in Game 1. I'd like to see it again.
Maybe. I mean, we've kind of seen flashback mode in some ways. Double AP in game number 1. Stone plates everywhere in game number 2. We'll have to certainly see. I think a lot of adaptation, despite it being a short best of series, has been important. And once again, credit to both the players for getting together as quickly as possible, but also the coaching staff. This is one of the most unique situations you'll probably ever find yourself in as a caster, as a player, or as a coach.
But it's China versus Korea, and 2017 has been highlighted by so many great series between these two proud Asian regions. You can look back at MSI. Of course, it was SKT stopping WE from making it on forward in that tournament. You think further on, SKT versus WE, those great games there. Then there was Rift Rivals, and of course, it ended in the China versus Korea teams. Worlds, 2 semifinals between China and Korea, and here we are again. So it's been largely semifinals, but also that Rift Rivals finals. These two regions have found themselves on the opposite sides. China, at moments there, and even after the ace, poised to take down that big series, but thwarted, and we get this bonus Game 3, it feels like, after the Winions did the rest.
I do love me some bonus Game 3. So again, I think everyone kind of favored China potentially going into the series, but nobody is going to complain about seeing a game number 3. Depending on what side you're on, you'll probably be more affected by the result, but definitely want to see that again. What I won't see again, unfortunately for me, is Faker's Zoe.
Nope.
That one's going away.
A lot of effort here. The crowd is still hyped up. Plenty of LPL faithful on the screen, but the Faker fans, the rest of the Korean fans as well. Well, finally poised than you'd expect, but All-Star has been such an interesting tournament, and it still feels like there are more curveballs. It still feels like there's more that is unexplored. There's still new picks that can be brought out, and I'm ready for the new, but also a celebration of the old, which is what this series so far has been in fits and spurts.
Certainly has, and just to give you a quick update, Faker had to restart his computer quickly, so clearly Zoe broke it, given how much damage he did in that last game, but shouldn't be too much longer before we're back into our final champ select of this All-Stars between these two teams, at least. Of course, one team does have to go home, or I guess they can hang out for a little while, maybe get some interviews happening in the lounge, which is pretty swanky.
And depending on which team it is, of course, there's still going to be All-Star 1v1 representatives on both sides, Prey and Uzi. Maybe facing off later in the day, so China versus Korea doesn't stop here, even if it is the semi-final.
Yeah, they get another best of 3. Can you imagine, like, you slug out this series in 2v2 for so long, and then all of a sudden your supports leave you, and you're like, oh, I have to 1v1 this guy now again.
Hey, enjoy the best of 3s while you have them, pastry time. Not many best of 3s for you next year.
Certainly true. Sad days, but been having fun so far here at All-Stars. Champ Select is well on the way, as looks like it's just coming up right now. We're going to shake the signs, shake the tibbers. See the Ringo and the Gnar plushies. Certainly the crowd has been wonderful here in the arena. A lot of loud voices for the Chinese All-Stars, but Korea also with their fans here. And with that, we do what we probably should have done in the last game. Start off with a Zoe and a Norn ban.
Yeah, definitely we get more to the meta. 723 picks. Xerath banned out. Interesting on blue side once again for China, who have been doing that the entire time, even though Korea haven't shown that much of an aptitude. It doesn't fit Gorilla's playstyle, so it kind of have to be a Faker special. Xerath and Faker don't go together too well. 2014, when he was playing Xerath, was the last time that SKT, before this year, felt an extended dry spell. After all, they're winning in other years, so the bans come through thick and fast. Jarvan banned away as well, so interesting to see. Misfortune left open, and very likely first pick, although we've seen other champions jump up in priority. Gnar, for example, another consideration.
We also saw so much priority on Tom Kench here as well, but actually first pick Sejuani once again going to take that away from Ambition.
But I think Ambition can just maybe roll the dice and go Gragas again. Electrocute Gragas wasn't what we would have thought of, but Gragas Misfortune is not really a losing pair to pick up. You feel good about that on the red side if it is going to be the decision here. from Korea.
Especially if it's Misfortune Peg with something else that you might want to get, can save your jungle pick for a little later. And again, that Tahm Kench constantly been taken away from Gorilla after his first game at this All-Star. May get to run it back once again, but for now, looks like we might just consolidate into the Gragas.
But I wonder if this will be the thought of Misfortune's support. Because I've mentioned already that Korea, with the current iteration of Prey and Gorilla, they work with minimal resource. They do not call the jungler, and they feel much safer with the Tahm Kench, with the much more defensive of support choices. Now, of course, could be AD carry Misfortune, as we saw in the previous game, but I wonder if they will go back to the pick that Gorilla innovated back against SK Telecom T1 in the semifinals of Worlds 2016, or will it just be cemented for Prey?
Well, it looks like Gnar and Varus actually going to give away the Tahm Kench if Korea does want to take it. Very strong laners there for top for 957, and Uzi going to be back on that Varus. Shen also up as well. It's been banned a lot in Phase 2, and it is picked here, so CuVee may be taking that one, but of course Gorilla can also flex that to support. Seeing quite a bit of that since Runes got reforged.
I mentioned a bit earlier in the Casper Cup, a lot of first pick Gnar, so we saw a lot of different choices against the Gnar. The Shen was commonly banned on blue side to draw a Gnar ban, or just save the Gnar efficiency for the blue side as a first pick. It's a very good containment champion for the Gnar, so I understand that the pick comes in there. And the Tahm Kench, who wasn't taken first round, we did see Tahm Kench banned in the first round last time out, was banned in the second round here. Up there being any extra safety for Uzi on this Varus.
Not this time at least. Camille though banned again away from CuVee.
Interesting. A Camille ban, even though Shen and Misfortune are showing, suggests that maybe they're thinking Shen's support will be a decision here for Korea.
10 seconds though for this final ban on Korea's side of the draft. It is Rise. Pretty solid champ. You can take that one away from Xiye.
Very safe blind pick and good into Azir. So maybe saying, hey, if you don't ban Azir, we'll be seeing Faker back on the Azir in this game. Didn't inspire us with confidence in game one, but it wasn't really about his mechanics. That game was just a very well-held Korean team not being able to actually get things going. And it seems like China's just happy to ban top lane, really thinking that this will be the Shen support.
Yeah, thinking of more of a carry split push style champion for CuVee. Good read on the Azir though. Looks like that's the hover here. Faking to lock it back in. Xiye could run back to Malzahar, or maybe has a different pick in mind.
And you could actually go for something like Vel'Koz Braum here, and ensure there's no Braum to answer the Vel'Koz, and also have the strength of Vel'Koz in the lane. Not everyone plays. Crown was playing it a lot in Casper Cup. It's always been talked about every time Azir's in meta that Vel'Koz is the good pick just because he can wave clear from range, and also his ult doesn't care about the Emperor's Divide. So Braum Vel'Koz could be considered. The Braum is going to be locked in. Lots of innate synergy with the Sejuani for the ability to proc the passive. Let's see what Xiye decides for the mid lane, though.
Helps against Gragas and MF ulti also. Except maybe just a fallback to Malzahar. Xerath is kind of the other poke champ people take into Azir, but of course that one was banned by the Chinese team.
Malzahar walking a bit of PTSD.
That's the wrong purple champion.
It is the wrong purple champion, but it is another initiate. It is another proactive champion. It was proactivity that was the subtitle of Game 1 victory for China. Now, this time, there's no Annie. Gnar can be proactive, Sejuani, Varus, but it's not the same reliability of Flash Tibbers and Flash Malzahar on the same side. Looking for that decision. Looks like it will be a top lane Shen. That was certainly my suspicion, as Gorilla may never or maybe once have played Shen support. It's a late coming thing. We've seen it this tournament. We get the lock-in. It will be back to the Misfortune support that he did originate himself. Very strong 2v2 lane here. So the Braum will do decently. We'll have to kind of be on the back foot, the Chinese bot lane.
And it's one of those things where MF support, I mean, MF in general just feels so good with all the runes being changed around. MF support you might not think is like super hot given all the changes, but turns out your itemization is pretty efficient even from support.
But I start thinking about the what ifs pastry time, because it is double ranged bot lane, which does invite Mlxg to go for some bot lane focus. You kind of want to do it pre-6, otherwise Shen will come in and rain on the parade. So this is very tight timings, but both teams know what each other knows. It's very much the rock, paper, scissors here coming through between the two teams. And it feels like bot lane is the big play lane, given that it seems imbalanced towards the Korean side.
Yep, certainly curious to see what maybe a more calmer game looks like here. No Zoe kind of running amok, no double AP aggression from the top side for the Chinese side. So I think fittingly we're going to get a pretty normal looking game 3, at least to start it. I make no promises for what may transpire over the course of this next game.
I think the predictions this series have all kind of gone sideways. And 3 games was a likely one. We do get the 3rd game in just the weirdest of circumstances, with everyone dead and the Winions doing the rest of the work. The meta champions do rule in this particular series, but it's been such a firecracker. I'm so excited we get a game 3.
Certainly has, and again, dream teams facing off against each other. And you can kind of tell the gravity of the situation now. Teams picking very safe, very standard, looking to play this one final game. See who will be the LMS's opponents tomorrow in the grand final here at All-Star 2017. For the final time this year, one of these 2 teams is moving out onto Summoner's Rift for All-Star.
My final thought is, will Faker get level 2 ganked for the 17th time it feels like? Hasn't played 17 games, but has felt so much impact from the likes of Mlxg in game 1 of this series. Sejuani still can look for a level 2 gank. It's unlikely to work, it should be mentioned with the Malzahar, but still, if you can blow a flash or trade a flash, you'll be very happy.
Would you like a prediction?
I'm listening.
Yes. Yes, he will. I mean, I think you're better than a coin flip for Mlxg level 2 ganks most of the time, although it looks like maybe a change of pace here as a group up towards the blue side right-hand jungle. Bray spots someone, gets a Comet proc.
Trying to get information for which side of the jungle Sejuani is starting on. It's a pretty shallow ward. They're not able to plop it into the red buff because they're not sure if they're going to be face-checking 4 members, looking for a defense on the bot side here, the side of China. So don't have full information, so it's not 100% certain, but they will be suspicious that it is a top side start once again, which would be level 2 possibilities for Mlxg.
Mlxg does love this side of the map. At least loves where the red buff is. Sometimes it's his, sometimes it's yours. Gonna get some help here from 957. Gorilla taking heat though. Ooh, a nice root though by Prey. And it's a little disorienting to see Misfortune and Jhin in the same lane, but certainly a lot of poke with that double range bot lane like you mentioned.
I mean, from level 2 onwards, it's pretty lethal on the side of Korea. You know, you put down...
Some good foreshadowing.
The lethality will certainly be coming in, but it's all about the fact that you can use that W from level 2, the Deadly Flourish, and guarantee double comment and the full damage of the Make It Rain. So insane harass. It's why you see Boots 4 potions as the start and 1 already chugged by Uzi, because you can't go Doran's Shield against this lane. It's not enough regen. You need the maximum amount of HP that 4 pots can provide.
Meiko gets a Guardian proc. And again, race to level 2 already well won by Praying Gorilla. Mlxg sneaking around some vision onto his red buff. So your pre-game prediction of bottom lane could potentially come true, but Ambition looks like he's walking into check. Meiko blocking some good shots. Tag in onto Prey. Damage still there. Heal burn by Gorilla. Prey with the barrier. So good defensive summoners here on the Korean side for the 2v2. Mlxg has to give up that red buff.
Shifts in the night here between Ambition and also Mlxg. Ambition level 3 and Mlxg not wanting to opt into anything. Both have come through vision in fits and spurts, and you see another ward put down just to get timers on everything.
Yep, Ambition is going to take it down, and Mlxg still zoned off here. Still level 2, finishing those Krugs up. Ambition going to try and look for him. The rebuff got pulled away. Xiye gets poked down by Faker.
That's usually how the matchup goes. Didn't see this because of the level 2 gank in the previous time we saw the matchup in game 1, but you should be able to get a lot of trade harass as Faker early before the level 6 all-in threat is there.
And again, you can see with all the pressure from mid and bot, Ambition much more aggressive with how he's moving into his enemy's jungle. Mlxg is struggling to get this last little bit of XP.
He's still level 2.
Level 2 gank still on the table. And off the table as he takes down that Krug. But Ambition with a pretty good experience lead. Very close to 4 at this point. Meiko jumps in, tags Gorilla. Uzi burns the heal offensively. Flashes in, they want it all. Gorilla is going to get something. Ignite is down. And Meiko grabs first blood. Prey lining up for second, but Meiko doesn't dive too far forward.
Tell that it's not used to playing for lane as Meiko.
Prey going to turn it around. He does do so too far for Meiko. As Mlxg was trying to make something happen, but Ambition again here is enough to protect Uzi though.
Safety first mindset from Gorilla. Healing earlier meant that he was in range. There's Uzi. Almost goes down for kills, you know, with Ignite. They respected the Ignite from Meiko. It's why we saw the early heal last time and the early flash here. Braum usually takes exhaust, but went Ignite for kill pressure on the double squishies. You see Mlxg and Ambition meet.
Ooh, battling, but being won by Ambition for now. Stun lands in, silence not good enough. Just short there. That fickle cast time saving Ambition's life, is forced to flash though.
Able to pull off some interesting vectors and actually aggro the Drake there and hit Ambition. He could have died actually to Drake damage, so that was an interesting one. Low mana here for Xiye, not able to turn around, only level 5 as well, but lane control fine for Faker, but no more.
Yeah, looking good. Both low on mana, but should tick back up as we check in with the top lane. Pop not going to land on a 957, but it is press the attack Gnar. That is a departure from the area we've seen almost on every single Gnar this tournament.
Yeah, a lot of Airy in the Casper Cup, but pre-nerf, of course, nerf came in. There's still plenty of Airy, like you say, in this tournament. I think against true tanks, you get less lane control early with press the attack, but as the lane goes on and you start building AD items, you do get situations where you can pick up kill threats. So they preferred the press the attack as it's gone on. And I think when we start to see those AD items complete, like I mentioned, we'll see the actual impact of it and judge.
Certainly seen CuVee be wonderful in side lanes all series long. Let's see if 957 can have similar success as he scales up into this game. Xiye though still on struggle street here versus Faker and his Azir. TP up for CuVee here on the top side also. 957 probably soon to match, but trying a little behind on CS. Same is true here in the mid lane for Xiye versus Faker. And actually behind as well in the bot side, despite the kill they got. Praying Gorilla's double range bot lane is just a little too much harass.
Well, it's all in or nothing, actually, for Braum and Varus. That's why they took the chance where they could, because, you know, when those summoners are all down, you're just eating free harass. It will draw the jungler.
Yep, gonna spot it here, but Prey's got his flash. Gonna get tagged here though. Gorilla might be a better target than the Shen. Or is he gonna try and turn it around to TP in on the Chinese status? Gorilla does go down to Uzi. The taunt too late there for CuVee as he gets stunned up as well.
Opted into pushing up because they had the Shen ultimate, but Gragas wasn't on the same side of the map. They were always outnumbered. All they get is a teleport advantage, and not even that, because CuVee had previously teleported to the top lane.
Well, Mlxg still playing a little bit of catch-up Ambition, pretty close to 5. Mlxg probably not too far away. Faker pressuring down here on the bot side. I think just trying to get off any potential farm greed or protect a re-up. Meiko blocking that shot, gonna hit the recall button once more. Nice blind flourish there from Prey to cancel, or at least delay the recall, but not a lot left there. It's Uzi. Those tier components not quite coming together. This is something you rarely see for AD carries, especially someone like Uzi.
Yeah, but just it's about back timing. They've been forced to back twice. They picked up a kill, but kill credit does go to Uzi once out of the 2 kills that we've seen there. So he's just kind of piecemealing together his needed items, and he wants Dirk for laning phase because he can only all in. It's not poke trades that are even. If they both had poke supports, you can go for tier earlier and think, okay, like for like. When you need to be able to all in with your jungler, with your support and ignite, you need the Dirk power spike earlier, and that means the tier has to be delayed.
Xiye though, level 7, looking to line that ultimate up onto CuVee's face.
He's gonna do that right now.
Yeah, there we go, suppressed and depressed. 957 nods into the wall, into the wall of CC Chain, onto the silence also. That was just disgusting.
There was no chance to react. The moment the suppression started, everything beautifully channeled. The Gnar Rage Bar in the right spot. Academic from the side of China, but enough to pick up the kill. And they start to spread from the mid lane. Azir plays for his own lane traditionally. Items haven't started to roll through for Faker, but great map movement from Xiye, and he didn't even have to use his teleport.
Nope, just kind of walked up there, chilling out there. Xiye gonna lose his passive, no ultimate again, not much threat on the Fakers. Let's watch this chain again.
It feels like in moments like this, where Azir played for himself, that things will be happening in other areas of the map, and this is the small moment where you're like, okay, if this was SKT, would there have been a free kill top lane? Would CuVee have been in that spot? Would communication have been different? That's the part where he starts to wonder, because it just looked too easy for the side of China.
Yep, very convenient rage timing as well for 957, lined up well. It's China holding the gold lead still with their kill advantage, up about 1,000, but that common harass is getting a little out of control.
And this is Varus, who can also play from amusingly large ranges himself, just taking so much poke damage. So far, the kills are keeping them very close in the lane, and the gold lead is certainly not there. Even in terms of CS, it's been closed down to 9 after beating.
Oh, Uzi goes in for the aggression. They want Prey, they're going to try and take him down. It is enough as Mlxg able to get that kill, and that was needed. Scott chains in there as the next one falls in onto Ambition. Faker is here late, but Ambition flushed out of the way. Maybe just there in time as Meiko going to be left out out to dry. Faker is going to claim that kill, and Ambition escape.
Ends up being the 1-for-1. This time, Faker is there first. No teleport coming through from Xiye. Didn't have ultimate to impact the fight. Thought for sure Ambition would go down after committing so hard, but lives on a sliver. Korea needed that, otherwise it would have been 3 unanswered kills for the side of China.
And Mlxg, I think he got spotted by a ward as well, so I wasn't sure that force was going to work, but like you said, all in or nothing, and they get their reward.
I mean, it's just very proactive from Uzi. We saw a flash engage from Braum earlier. This time, Ruler-esque in going for his own flash and taking out Prey. Then Ambition looks like he's going to be caught in the crossfire. Lives on maybe 50 HP, probably less. This was Meiko understanding that there's going to be someone, no reason for Gorilla to take the kill credit. Faker picks up 1. Speaking of Faker.
Uzi understands also, actually took minions. Just kind of waved by to Meiko because he knew that nothing he could do there. Good poke though from Faker onto Xiye. Faker with blue buff and that Stinger working quickly towards the Nashers. Finding a lot of success here in this matchup with a lot less attention, given that the bot lane has really been the centerpiece of the jungler's early play.
But at least Faker is a factor this game. He's been able to be involved in kill. He hasn't died. He's one of his summoners down, but still has the cleanse. Because he hasn't been held, he's going to hit his timings appropriately, and then we see a different side of Faker compared to the passenger that he was in game 1.
Certainly not a ride he particularly enjoyed as Meiko going to try and force Ambition out of the jungle. Uzi with a bit of poke. But Ambition looks like he got the lion's share of the gold. And there's one little couple left here to try and take down. Mlxg also trading back for a few camps himself.
They saw Mlxg topside on wards, so they said, okay, we're going to push in and just try and take the turret. Zoned Varus away, got a bit of turret damage. Did Korea. Nothing going to be massive. It's still above 50% HP, but playing with your waves and also the information is a sign of a good team.
Certainly is. Again, playing enough games and things are starting to come together. Not a whole lot of time in the tournament to sort of complete it all, but still looking good. Prey and Gorilla still playing up aggressive. Uzi, a rare sight for him, forced back in his lane, playing so well and so aggressive with Meiko, but finally a winning matchup for Korea, and they're the ones applying pressure and 20 CS ahead despite the kills that have also gone over.
Great teleport wards for Xiye, looking at the bot side, so not going to be a deep teleport to potentially punish this. That's why Mlxg is just there to ward off a gank, and Korea read the situation smartly and say, well, we'll take a free Drake.
Yep, just fall back to the Drake. Take that objective off the table for now. Steal incoming? Nope, not going to land there for Mlxg. Did try it though. Teams up with Meiko. Meiko going to sweep out, see a couple zombie wards and bop them. But again, having to play back and more patient here. Kind of don't want to fall too far behind. Still gold within 1,000 between the two sides, but the smart roams aren't going to come that often. Yes, Xiye has done a good job. Mlxg's done a good job also pressuring, but that didn't give over to anything else. Then Xiye with the all-in looking for Faker. Can't cleanse out of that one. Nope. Mlxg grabs it.
Took a lot longer this time, 12 minutes to actually get onto Faker, but reality of the matchup, held his flash for the longest time. They pick up the kill. They won't get any turret damage for it, so it's just a single kill, but they are able to translate it into a red buff steal as well.
Well, 957 is actually the one with all of that pressure building up. We wondered what was his presence going to be like. Taking that turret almost solo, certainly a good sign. Meiko again looking for the all-in ignite. Lands in, but a great flash from Prey. Gets out from under the chain of corruption. Meiko not going to make it to the bullet time. Gorilla able to grab it as 957. Going to try and chase it down. Xiye is here, but the flash of Gorilla may save his life. Looks like it will. What a slick escape.
Such a big one. The dancing shoes from Prey were awesome there. They're able to pick up the kill, and they don't even blow the Stand United. They can hold on to the cooldown. They'd rather Gorilla flashes away than they have to waste Stand United for a potential proactive play. Defensive Stand United almost always is a waste pre-level 11, pre-level 16. You want to be offensive with it, so they trade Flash for holding on to Stand United, and the turnaround kill here, so important for Prey and the side of Korea.
And again, you can see kind of what they're going for with Xiye rocketing down the river, but Prey just gets out.
Movement speed there as he was reloading, able to turn around. Again, could use Stand United, don't use it. Maybe next time that the Malzahar ult is used on Azir, they'll have that ability ready to try to turn that one around. See Korea push up, pick up a bit more gold here. And the top side, CuVee, it's feeling some pain.
Yeah, Black Cleaver here from 957 and a Sejuani for the chain. CC, goodbye friend. Mlxg, his third kill of the game, of course.
A unwelcome reintroduction to top lane for the Shen, who Just had to deal with being wailed away upon and no way to get out. The pathing from Mlxg here, he's been involved in 4 out of the 6 kills, taking the kill credit, but that does mean that he's going to be able to eat some of the poke from Misfortune and Jhin and still look for the initiation on pretty healthy HP values.
Still troublesome though in the bot lane. Is Korea going to try and take this turret and even up the score for that objective? Looks like no contest here from the duo lane. Respecting all of the power and early Ghostblade built up from Prey. Also as that QSS kind of snowballed into it between Xiye's job of trying to kill that carry, got made a lot more difficult.
It's an interesting one. To me, the QSS, oh, speaking of QSS, none Faker.
This is actually defensive ult, I believe. Oh no, maybe offensive. Faker, Flash Clans, goodbye. Runs into Ambition, and it's not enough. That was somehow enough damage from Xiye.
And CuVee didn't ult. He could have kept him alive, but wasn't used there. Seemed to surprise him. Scorch and other damage over time took him out. From there, they can also turn onto the Rift Herald very easily with the availability of the Voidlings, and that certainly wasn't Faker-esque.
No, I mean, Faker doesn't get surprised very often, but that felt like a moment where he was probably genuinely surprised. And the reward is good. Get an objective off it, take the Rift Herald away, get that kill, and maybe even start pressuring this mid turret. Let's see this one again. How did this happen?
Have to wonder what the comms are here, because we know that Stan United is up. Get away. He has to flash away. Of course, Cleanse doesn't work on damage over time abilities. Faker will know that, so he seems genuinely surprised. Remember, damage values are different than they were back at Worlds when there was plenty of Malzahar running around. Crown playing it 3 times in the grand final, and the damage just crept up onto Faker, and he seems bemused that he fell down.
Yep, turns out that last E was enough there from Xiye, who full combos the Azir after Faker, by his own credit, went aggressive to try and pressure Xiye off this one. All of a sudden, gonna probably rethink his next approach, and Xie's like, I have flash and my cooldown boots, and a jungler right left of me.
The very early change over to that Ghost Flash that we mentioned is exactly what Xie is looking for with the CDR boots, around 108 seconds onto the Ghost, and if he eventually finishes his Zonias through the stopwatch that he got from the Mastery, like 70% CDR onto Zonias, so it's pretty insane how slow that cooldown is as well.
Yep, committal here with the Rift Herald by Mlxg. Does take that one down. A lot of topside pressure here from 957. Faker forced up here actually to deal with that. Looks like maybe a conversion here to mid lane, but Gorilla is there to try and head that off along with Ambition. So Rift Herald will die. It does collect a turret. I think it's an interesting conversation to be had about where you should use that, but maybe get a kill instead. Suppress, 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 not go airborne. Yeah, oh, he's dead. So my favorite patch note from 7.24 was the quote before Malzahar after the ultimate damage drop, and it was, Malzahar should have to press 4 buttons to kill people.
I mean, other people pressed the same button he did and it seemed to work out. There's just nothing you could do. There was no overlapping time there. You don't have a QSS on the side there. Is Price is going to be chased down.
Already busted the QSS. Mlxg needs to get an auto attack range, which seems very difficult. Oh my god, that juke was sick. Prey's dancing shoes well on point. Even finds the predictive route on an Mlxg.
And not realistically enough damage, so I think even if he was stunned there, probably would have lived, but he keeps his summoner spells. That's still a little win for the side of Prey. He's not liking the fact that he's going to deal with a 3-kill Sejuani, though, who will be able to eat up those ultimate shots later in the game. No armor being itemized into yet, but that will come later for the side of Mlxg.
Yeah, Prey's going to need to do a lot of that in this game, given how many threats there are on the table. With QSS down, he's mildly vulnerable to the ultimate from Malzahar, but that's not a concern right now as Cloud Drake number 2 goes over to Korea.
Well, if that gets them out of range of the Malzahar, that'll be
That's
happy.
very important.
Because it's out of combat is basically out of Malzahar range. Pretty much all you have to think about there. Once that starts, there's nothing that's going to save you, as we have well seen. Don't expect Prey to be in range of Malzahar ultimate anytime soon, so the QSS probably just going to be for other things, like, for example, Uzi, and the potential to chain it into the Malzahar later on.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he has a choice about it, because she, again, with that fast flash, could find the angle, but right now 957 just sauntering back on down to the bot lane. There's CuVee, nice teammate, and double ruby crystals. How do you like my black cleaver?
Not a lot.
CuVee does not, correct.
I like your narration there.
CuVee's getting out of there. He's got some money to spend. Gonna go home and hopefully get tankier as this Gnar is continuing to be a pest. A massive CS lead for 957 also.
Every time Korea has looked to scale this tournament, this has happened. It feels like every time Azir is coming through, you can go for Malzahar. It doesn't have a happy laning phase. Other things being equal against the Azir. But he has the R button. There is an abundance of damage in the meta now. And that extra damage, and just there not being MR runes on Faker means that there are those damage miscalculations. You do die. You are more brittle than before. And it feels like scaling at every turn is being heavily punished.
And you can see Faker was in the top lane briefly, but he looked like a very good nether grasp target, so he kind of recognized the situation in that long lane after 957, and then Mlxg were able to take down those 2 consecutive turrets. 957 also got a lot of work done to that bot side, so has the sideline pressure there, and that's just another chain, but no ult needed for that one as the root lands back to trade.
Okay.
957 TPs into his death.
That was also a lot of answering damage in this damage meta we're seeing, so 1-for-1 so far. Good point out, there's still buff available.
Meiko, that was a sexy E. Blocks the damage from Gorilla, who let the bullet time go. Mlxg gonna be a bit more protected. But looks like no rush onto the Baron, so everyone gonna walk back away.
CuVee trying to play the side lane, still has an ult. We're going to see the replay. CuVee's been very judicious with his ults. Wouldn't have saved Ambition here, so right decision not to use it. I like the turnaround because any ability, an auto attack, he would have transformed, been a bit more tanky. There was no chance for that. So equal amounts of no gameplay available, even without a Malzahar on their side.
And 957 again is, I think, doing the right thing here, going for that frozen mallet, continuing to hold Kingdom here in the side lanes versus CuVee, but going to delay any real tankiness, even though he's got a good amount of health built up. So he really just wants to be here for as long as possible, annoying CuVee, but see if he gets that chance. Some fights do get forced. So far so good though, I think, on the Chinese side. Xiye with most of the kills here, holding 4, 5 participations out of 9, and only getting stronger in those QSSs. Still late, Prey is the only one that has one, and at some point even he's not going to be that safe from the damage that could come out.
I want you to note, the Faker has gone second item Void Stuff. It's almost always haunting guys into Leandries to maximize the damage early, but this is, to me, saying that Faker, he's not going to be looking for an aggressive Azir Sec or Shurima Supple and try to get damage onto squishies. He's accepting the fact that he probably has to power through an Adaptive Helm 3-kill Sejuani as, well, another Mal.
The gameplay begins again. Oh, the ultimate! No, it's not. Never mind. Meiko gets the kill on Ambition. Stand United falls very flat. And 957 gets the turret. Congratulations.
Yeah, double kill in terms of objectives. A kill and also the kill on that turret. Doesn't matter. There's not enough magic resist yet. On the side of Ambition is mid lane.
Mlxg lets it go. Prey getting poked down. That Comet, not quite enough for an execution. Faker also getting harassed.
Trying to pull the minion wave, stop the turret going down.
Ultimate from Prey finally found the message. Faker just takes down Ultimate 957 after the silence stuns Gorilla to get that kill. And now Faker caught out. A great ult though shuts down Xiye. Faker though running on the wrong side of the rift. Braum passive is going to proc. He goes down as 957 gets that kill.
It's been pretty even. 2 for 2 extended after Ambition can finally walk back. 3 for 2. Overall from the start, Faker's main objective to when he walked up was to stop the turret from going down. He did that, wasn't able to pull the minion wave. Nice turnaround, nice kills there. It kind of delays the inevitable as China still keep creeping forward.
Kind of what it feels like. Faker's heroics are very good looking, but not enough.
Wasn't even able to do this sort of stuff in the previous Azir game. Much more hitting item timing, so a better situation. Flash onto behind the Malzahar, scoops him up with the ultimate there and the Emperor's Divide. He goes down, wanted to try to avoid some of the auto attacks, but no way to do that. He falls, and still very perilous in this game. We're still so close to something snowballing out of control. It's in touching distance for Korea, but 4,000 gold's nothing to sniff at 23 minutes.
Yeah, gold lead actually been built quite nicely here. It's kind of crept up. There's a big turret advantage, and doubling the kills of their opponents is certainly helping out. It is odd to see so much control of the map being given over to the Chinese side, but Korea just don't have much room to work with right now, which is...
That's what you sacrifice when you have a ranged support. Misfortune isn't able to face check Brush. Azir doesn't have QSS, so he can't help. Feels like the only person who's confident doing it is Ambition and CuVee, and they still will die to extended CC chains, as Meiko doesn't want to have to deal with those.
Nice juke though, out of the way from Glacial Prison. Xiye was a little late to the party. Should have popped that ghost. Busted up there for the ulti. but not to be. Instead, maybe a Baron on the cards. Ambition in the area to check it though, smart man.
This time China has a lot of Baron damage on their squad, so Malzahar pushing up Vision, a deletion onto Gragas, and Baron will be very realistic, even at this point in the game. So tricky, given the lack of QSSs for Korea to stop that objective going down. Even Adaptive Helm on Ambition's not going to be enough to stop him going down.
Yeah, we tried that in game one.
Yep.
Definitely was not enough.
And he's also going to be very used to the combination of the Sejuani Braum, who can do permanent CC, because that was Ambition and Samsung Galaxy debuting the duo right after Rift Rivals against SK Telecom now a few months ago, so they are aware of the basically never-ending CC chain for China.
He has been spotted here, but actually moving down to this bot side to another area that doesn't have a QSS. Just like Xiye just wanted to attack some of those minions. 957 getting some help pushed along with the Voidlings. Might be more of a commit here actually to take down the turret. Voidlings doing work as Gorilla is forced to join.
It's pretty non-committal. Like, they should both show up, but Shen, if you rotate around and he can't do anything, it's mid lane.
Here's a commitment Prey. Great QSS once more, but forced to flash. As Gorilla back in, lets the bullet time go. Ambition knocks him back into it, but Mlxg over to Arctic Assault out of the way. Uzi got low from the poke, and Meiko down to Gorilla.
And all this time, Faker's not even there. He's taking a turret top size. That's a big win, the side of Korea. Both summoners have to be used by Prey and his QSS. But the turnaround, the accuracy on the ultimate, he keeps pushing up this Faker. Gonna get most of the damage here. Doesn't have any coverage. This is, to a great degree, risky from Faker, but he trusts that he has enough time. He takes down 2 turrets in the interim. That gold lead of 5,000-ish is creeping down now. It's only about 1,500.
Yeah, pretty much shrunk by 50%, and I feel like Xiye is kind of suffering from an embarrassment of riches. There are so many good ultimate targets, but he needs to be in the right place at the right time to use it. Maybe bottom lane wasn't where it to be, and trying to just go in here, trying to force something without Faker there.
Lot used to try to take down Prey, but he finds safety. Because at the end of the day, Gorilla may only have 1 lethality item, but no one's going to walk through that ultimate. China, they don't have to commit much. Remember, they do have the Voidlings. They don't take a lot of damage when they start the Baron. So expect to see them start it multiple times and to just see, okay, how fast are we killing it? How much time do we have?
Yep. Drake up as well. Looks like a blue ting went into that one. I think 957 fancies himself alive as a jungler, at least briefly. But no one around there, no vision at all. 957 gonna have to kite around the Drake. That should be okay. Safe in the back of the pit with his hop up. And looks like that Drake will kind of be stolen away there. 957 should be getting paid overtime in this game by the looks of things. Done a lot of work to manage this map.
You have a very long leash as Gnar versus Shen. Sure, Shen is not going to die to you 1v1. He can engage upon you, but Ambition has a top lane, and it's been a containment job for CuVee most of this series, and certainly in this game. We'll just back away. Free objective over to China. Mountain Drake, 10% fast to Baron. When we already outlined that it is a pretty straightforward Baron killing team. Is a nice prize for the side of China.
Watching for Xiye's level 16 as well. The best way to Malzahar all people is to have it up more often. So cooldown reduction, and of course the damage will help out once he gets there. And again, the QSS is still absent. I mean, again, I understand that there's a lot of other things to do. But Xiye's got a lot of good targets.
And they're looking for Faker. They're hunting Faker here. Once again,
he's a good target. Oh, Xiye just flashed over. Uzi found him. Good cleanse off Faker. Might try and get a counter kill here, but he's already solo just from the Varus. Stange United is not there for CuVee, I don't think. Faker going to try and make a great escape.
It's going to take time at least. You have to look at what's happening on the map. Not much to speak of. It's okay.
Good flash. Ult's nice as well, but he gets knocked up by the Glacial Fissure. Still not there, but the silence should be it. Meiko with the kill secure, and now straight to Baron.
Still no reason to use the Shen ultimate that he was not getting out. They didn't want to commit any other abilities. They're turning on to Baron again.
They held their ultimate on Malzahar as well, and Xiye hit 16, so Ambition. This is one of the more dangerous face checks he'll face today. Gorilla also caught, forced to flash. TP for 957, cancelled by the presence of CuVee. But still, onto the Baron. Mlxg needs to duck back in there.
Uniquely, China can keep going off the Baron, letting it reset. Didn't even reset here. It's down to 4,000.
Yep, actually going there again, threatening Meiko, blocking shots. They just need to give Ambition out of the pit. They're going in with the ball time, trying to take it.
He got it with the misfortune!
Gorilla steals it! And Ambition hill forward, that's well worth it.
Of all things, just a couple of rounds of the bullet time are enough. Ambition used his smite early, hoping that there would be no return frame for the smite from Mlxg to become true. He was right. It was a crapshoot in the end. It goes the way of Korea, and that was a Baron they would never have had access to because the setup to actually get Baron for Korea was getting basically a teamfight ace. We see the replay here. Remember that Prey can just try to hit the Baron, try to DPS it down. Ambition goes in just below 2,000 health, uses the smite early, hopes for the best, gets the best, and that's a big reward for Korea.
Certainly is, and the game again stays even, but this time with a Baron in the hands of Korea for 2.5 minutes or so, they can play a bit more forward and try and break down more turrets, get more room on the map.
The great irony of all of this is if they'd actually fully disengaged from Baron, it wouldn't have been that low to actually allow it to happen. The moment Baron gets below 3,000 health, you can just channel bullet time and give additional help to get the Baron low for when the tanky Gragas comes in and try to make it a 50-50. It ended up being a different proportion. Apparently there was 5% for the Misfortune, but the 5% is enough. And now the waves that were pushing so quickly for the Gnar are a little bit slower. Now the timer for Korea is a little bit longer. And Faker has a death cap and is putting together a motley crew of damage.
Certainly looking good so far. Knows he's got to pull the carry pants up nice and high. Gorilla stunned here. 957 looking for the scoop, finds 2. Gorilla does die there. Warp in the Gnar is good as Ambition. Also looking to go down stage. United going to keep him alive, but looks like CuVee stunned up forever is going to fall. 2 great picks there from the Chinese All-Stars.
Looking for wave clear was Gorilla, but that was really great aggressive stuff coming through. Brace is trying to kill the minion wave. Knows he's not going to get any damage onto the champions reliably. Baker can keep back in range, but they're giving up an inhibitor here at minimum.
Busted down real quick. Mlxg eats a little bit of poke here. Inhibitor, though, is going to go down. Faker maybe looks for something, but probably too late on that flank. Instead, they concede the objective, and all of a sudden, the pressure's flipped back around.
Yeah, Gorilla thought he could channel the ult about, what, 300-400 units behind the turret and be fine, but there still is Braum, Sejuani, and Gnar to look for turret dives. Mlxg has been good on the trigger finger here. Still hasn't died on the Sejuani, not looking like he will anytime soon. They get a big advantage. It feels like the seesaw has been massive both ways. The Baron is supposed to be the steadier. We're supposed to deny moments like this, but look where the carries are. Jhin and the Azir are basically having a conversation in the mid lane while this turret dive happens. They lose the turret, they lose the maximum, and once CuVee had looked for the taunt to try to save his Misfortune, he was going to go down as well.
Certainly was. Down 30 seconds left on this Baron with Supers pressuring that bottom lane. We have swapped initiative once again. China back on the front foot. Opened up another nice little gold lead for themselves. Probably not that significant given we're already 30 minutes through, but about 4,000 backup is not bad, to say the least.
And again, the mindset has to be discussed because the ability to shake off an endlessly frustrating Baron steal from the side of Korea and just look for the engage you know you can win requires a settled team, requires confidence in all the other members. If you're just a pickup team that came in with a day of scrims, 2 days of scrims, maybe no scrims, it's very different. But here, because they've had that extra time, it's good trust in the team, it's good trust in the process, and they do get a inhibitor even against the Baron.
Looking good there. Again, the proactivity from this team has been just incredible to watch, honestly. You see Faker still poking down the sidelines, finally invested in a bit more safety as that QSS finished. Again, a lot of damage there from the carries. Korea is not short on teamfight options, but they need to live through a potential pick for that to happen, because especially if a carry gets tagged, they will not win any 4v5s easily.
It's worth noting that, you know, he had the null magic mantle for a long time. He felt like he didn't have the latitude to actually finish it, to spend 1250 gold on the QSS because he needs damage. Jhin does decent damage, but Azir is the true damage carry on the side of Korea. He finally completes it, but it's, you know, 2,500 gold between the two QSSs to kind of extend the damage lead, you could argue, that China has, because a lot less has been itemized in the defensive stats on the carries of China.
It's pretty nuts to look through that top lane and just see how far ahead 957 is of CuVee. It's about 1.5 items up. We talked about all that lane pressure with the cleaver, with the mallet. They're well done at this point, and he has 2 different resistance-based tank items to now also fight with. CuVee is about 3,000 gold behind, and he needs to, you know, be there in the front line, saving people, dashing in with the ultimate. Gonna be a tough ask, because there's another one, and Bitch gonna be the target. Mlxg tries to run interference, and a great ult stuns Gorilla. Chain of Corruption is gonna fall. Here it comes, 957, scoop, silence. hunts down there as Prey is not going to live through the assault. A double kill for Uzi. Faker tagged up as well, flashes and dies.
This could be it.
Certainly could. A triple kill for Uzi could finish this game off. Remember, Super Minions still here in the bot lane.
4 members alive. Varus still alive. China want to cement what has been a great all-star for them. They're looking to end the game.
They've got almost everyone alive. Uzi will be enough to push through these turrets. Gorilla is trying to do something here, but Mlxg buffs him up. There's another kill. Death time is still pretty long, 20 seconds plus, as there's going to be an ace completed by Mlxg for the double kill. And a win here cements a brothers' war in the final of the 2017 All-Star, as China will take game number 3.
China versus Korea has happened at every international event that it could. This does start to square up the ledger, not in the way the Chinese fans would have wanted. They would have wanted the big wins at MSI, the big wins at Worlds. They didn't get them on those stages, but Rift Rivals and now All-Star. The Chinese representatives have been able to unseat the Korean representatives, and the Korean Dream Team left a lot to be desired now that their journey has been put in the books.
I mean, I think well said. They'll certainly take it. Any practice has to be good practice here. You have to think, okay, we've done it, maybe these smaller tournaments, we've beaten them in kind of different ways. Rift Rivals had a very unique format, also obviously exceptionally unique as far as tournaments go, but at some point they're like, oh, we did it. We could probably do it. And slowly but surely you build up that experience and confidence.
And if I'm a Chinese fan, I think it's not what I wanted, but it's a start. It certainly is. They're coming from a couple of years they certainly weren't too proud of when it came to international success. This is still an international success of a different regard. And I have to say that on balance of play, the Chinese squad was far superior to that of Korea. A cheeky Baron steal extended this game further than you might have imagined. Game 2 was a bit of a crapshoot either way, and I think China should hold their heads high, because the thing that differentiated China to Korea to me the most is that China knew what they were good at, trusted in the process, and were consistent, whereas Korea kept drafting scaling and then losing the game before the scaling ever took effect.
Yep, big thumbs up there from Meiko right at the end. A fun best of 3. But trying to emerge victorious and push themselves to the final. Big smiles across the All-Star team, and well-deserved, certainly. It'll be a good time, though, to take a moment and just realize how fun this event has been. I mean, that game 2 happens almost nowhere else, you have to think. But it ended in the most fun way possible to give us that final game.
And look, everyone defines fun differently, but this is the fun series I wanted. I wanted these 2 titans, these 10 stars, to react and actually hit a best of 3, both of them really looking to push each other. And we saw the best and worst of both teams as this went on. We've still got best of 1s. We've had pentakills, we've had everything. It's been a different all-star, but this series in particular was high level.
Certainly was. We've got 1v1s coming up as well. Don't forget, for me, I'll take away from this series that stop sleeping on 957 if you have been. I think he got a lot of deserved acclamation towards the end of Worlds, but he's been, I would say, underrated for a while, and these kind of performances, especially against CuVee, do show a lot.
And the weird thing is, he's kind of increased his reputation more on the international stage than through domestic performance. The Kled that broke him out at MSI and the famous clip now of his great escape there, being able to take lane bully status rather than just take the the Shen side of the matchups and just try to sustain through. He can play lane pressure well. He was in great positions. He got the maximum out of the Gnar Shen matchup that other top laners have not been able to manage as well. So basically, whatever hand he's being dealt, he's making it work, and that's the sign of a top laner to be feared.
Certainly is. I think for me, the other fun thing to take away is that I don't think Vega is very happy that Malzahar is such a meta pick. He has been haunted by this pick at the end of this year.
You know what the worst thing is? It doesn't work for him, and it does work against him. So, yeah, he's waiting for the nerfs there, right? Need to do him a favor.
Like I said, should have to press more than one button to kill people. That one is certainly in on 724, but maybe more coming if Faker has those fingers tightly crossed.
It was 3 games at Worlds, another couple of games here. Malzahar, the true kryptonite for Faker.
Maybe our fun stat to track will have to be Faker's
win rate against
Korean
Malzahar.
win rate versus
not
Malzahar.
high. It's not high.
It's recently really bad, as it turns out. I mean, I think still, like, on that note, yes, that's a bit of fun, but the simplicity of, like, hey, I can press buttons, we can initiate, it works. When you, like you said, when you're a pickup team, keep it simple, stupid, and that was kept nice and simple.
But they were the reliable pickup team. They were the pickup team that put in the extra hours for All-Star, and some people will look at that and wonder why, but performances like this and what they mean for the Chinese fans and what it might mean the next time you face against 2 out of this team, 1 out of this team. There will be another matchup between a representative of this China team and an assortment of the Korean teams that are represented here. They are Korea's best teams, Samsung, Longzhu, and SKT. We'll see them battle again next year, and they've got a win to show for it, even if it's in a different scenario.
Yep, don't worry too much. We've still got Prey and Uzi up as well in the 1v1s, but for more on that roller coaster over series, let's send it over to Shox and the LPL mid laner.
Thank you very much, guys. Indeed, joined here by Xiye after the LPL takes down the Korean All-Stars and a fantastic performance from the LPL mid laner. So Xiye, what was the key to taking down that Korean All-Star team today?
所以第一个问题想问一下你战胜韩国的关键是什么？
关键是我们5个人都发挥的特别出色，所以才能赢下韩国队。
I think all 5 members on the team play really well. That's the reason why we beat Korea.
Well, it's actually really cool to see how you guys with this all-star team are seemingly gelling so well, like you've played together for years. How would you say the team atmosphere is for now, and how are you able to put on such a great performance with this mixed team?
就感觉中国队的配合非常好，就像打了很久比赛。那么想问一下你，为什么这次中国队能气氛是怎么样的？为什么配合能这么好？
大家平时都玩的比较开，然后打比赛上默契就会更好了。
Well, so I think all the members on the team are really mesh well together. We have a lot of fun outside the game, so that's why we're so good inside the game.
Well, it definitely looks like it. And on top of that, even though we're in the NALCS arena, all of the crowd seems to be LPL fans. How has that helped you get a lot of energy in the studio here?
就虽然我们现在在北美的场馆，但是觉得现场有特别多的 LPL 粉丝。想问一下你现在有什么样的感受？
虽然是在北美打比赛，但给我感觉就是在 LPL 主场一样。然后就感觉因为有这么多主场优势，所以我们才能赢下比赛，有这一个原因。
So even though we are currently in the LCS, but I feel like this is an LPL home court, which gives me a lot of energy to win all the games.
Well, it seems like it. We'll see what happens tomorrow in the final. Congratulations. Fantastic stuff here from Xiye and LPL so far. Back over to you guys.
Thank you, Shox. Xiye feels like he's playing on home turf here in the NALCS studios based on, I mean, the volume that the crowd can reach when an LPL
and
team...
you guys import everything anyway, so I guess...
Import the crowd.
Basically, you can import him now.
We just brought 300 of them back with us from Worlds. We're like, here you go, watch All-Stars as well. But hey, China does it 2-1 over Korea. That man there that we just saw interviewed, tasked with dealing with Faker's Azir, goes back to the Malzahar to do it.
Just as CuVee predicted.
Yeah, just pressing that R button working really well. And the thing is Korea had so many opportunities that they could have denied the Malzahar. It was, I think, last pick or second to last rotation from the LPL squad, and it had such great success in game number 1. It's been so strong throughout the tournament that, again, I have to look at a big drafting blunder, it feels, from the Korean squad.
A little bit of disrespect, maybe, saying we can deal with it. We have Azir, long range, it's going to be fine. But again, when you're playing at All-Stars and there is less coordination, point and click suppression, even better, to keep forcing plays. And they force so many things around the mid lane when he's playing Malzahar. So tomorrow, that's going to be a huge pick.
Yeah, they were super good at playing around it. And one of the things of them, you know, putting the extra time in before coming here, having the boot camp, and working towards that coordination has really shown up, given them the edge, and it's going to be a very exciting final.
On the topic of the mid lane, though, I know you had some thoughts on Azir and the runes picked up by Faker here this time around.
Okay, so Faker's pretty interesting. I was going through his solo queue, and he doesn't do what is it? Penetrate? What is that? Precision tree.
Precision?
He actually does the domination tree about 30 to 40% of the time, because most people value the attack speed on Azir. And what he does is he'll kind of bounce around between kind of cheap shot, taste of blood, and sudden impact, depending on what his composition is. So if he's with someone like a Jarvan, who's going to be a big wombo combo, he's going to go for sudden impact, because he wants to team up with that wombo combo and get the added benefit of those stats. If he's with someone like Sejuani, who's providing a lot of the CC, the slow, he'll go for the cheap shot, so he can get the extra damage there on the impaired movement speed. And then, of course, he'll always take the zombie ward. So I think it's very interesting because it feels like 99% of the Azirs are just in the precision tree for their secondary rune, but Faker is starting to mix it up and really play with the domination tree.
And outside of the runes itself, we saw Faker working his butt off in that game to try and pull it back into their favor. And again, much like game 2, there were a couple moments within this game where it almost went back into Korea's favor. I mean, that Baron being one of them.
Faker's been working overtime for a couple months now. And it has been a little bit rough for him.
Yeah, his whole lifetime really has been about, just dragging other people with him up the mountain to success. But here we have the post-game breakdown. China getting the better of Korea here. 2-1, gonna be moving on to our 5v5 finals tomorrow. Best of 5, so gonna be an even longer series in that sense, up against the LMS.
Yeah, and LMS undefeated so far during the tournament. I think a lot of their members have actually been performing at a very high level, and they look as coordinated as the LPL team right now. So it's actually going to be super fun to see what kind of level they will play at. Like, will it be super action-packed and just kills everywhere, or will it actually be a very high-level game?
Based on how both of these two rosters have played so far in this tournament, do you feel like this matchup favors one team or the other, China or LMS?
I actually feel like they're really similar.
Okay.
They've both been running a lot of tanks, and they have been prioritizing that front line. So that's why I don't think it's going to be one of the preseason, matches that everybody's looking forward to, all the assassins flying everywhere. It does feel like both of them are focusing on playing to the 5-on-5, having the front line, and just looking for the solid engages after the mid game.
And historically, the LMS is actually, or at least recently, the LMS has gotten the better of the LPL. I know on the international stage, the LMS has slipped backwards a bit in terms of the results that they wanted, but the last time that these two teams met at Rift Rivals, it came down to the very end for the LPL to just scrape over, and also at Worlds, it was AHQ's defeat over EDG that put them in that very sticky situation in week 1, which meant that they couldn't climb out in week 2.
Deficio Pastry said he thinks people should stop sleeping on 957, specifically if he's going to pick someone out of the Chinese roster that's performing well throughout the entire season, really. Big plays at Worlds, here at All-Stars as well. MSI was kind of where he started to make his name known. How do you feel about that statement?
I think 957 has proven he's the best performing Chinese top laner at the moment. I think the fact that he's actually very flexible in what he's doing. We've seen him play just pure tanks. We've seen him actually things like Kled, and now as well, like where he can be a split pusher. And I like the fact he's a bit of a playmaker from the top lane without being just a pure carry who needs everyone to gank for him. So it actually makes it very easy to play with him, at least from what we've seen now from 957 during Worlds and of course also All-Star.
He actually reminds me a lot of CuVee in terms of the versatility and the flexibility of that playstyle. In the LPL, there's so many dominating top laners with that carry trend. We have the Flandre, we have the Xiye, and he's just kind of like this dual-edged sword where he doesn't get the spotlight because he's on a team with Mystic, but he's putting in so much work for his team.
And I think he's going to be an advantage for the LPL team tomorrow. And I also think that the bot lane is going to be an advantage for them. And so, seeing as the first statement got a reaction, while I think Ziv is playing fine, I've actually not been too impressed with Ziv during the entire year. And I think 957 will just be a better version of what Ziv is bringing to the table right now. And then, of course, bot lane like BB and Sword, they destroyed the GPL bot lane today. Will not happen against Uzi and Meiko, and I actually see the LPL team have quite some advantages on both sides.
All right, so then is the jungle matchup maybe somewhere where the LMS can find an advantage? Mlxg, somebody that we talk about, has such a high ceiling, CuVee, right? Such a high ceiling. But if he's not performing there, sometimes we do see game-losing mistakes from this guy.
Yeah, he is a guy that really does have a lot of peaks and valleys in his play, but right now he's performing really well. So it's going to be an interesting matchup because Karsa, has been having a very good tournament as well. I actually was really impressed with Ziv in this tournament, and it has been a lot of tank play, but also on the Gnar, he was able to completely negate Soaz. I know you probably blocked that game out of your memory.
He's not played against 957 yet. That's going to be the real challenge.
Fair
I mean,
enough.
957 hasn't played against Ziv yet either.
That's not going to be the
By that
challenge at all.
Do you want to weigh in on this, the top lane matchup?
Top lane 957 versus Ziv. I think 957's better. I think Ziv, like Deficio said, has a rough year.
Okay.
And Ziv really excels kind of on more so one style of champion. It's really been those tanks, the Maokai in particular. Yeah, he can go towards the carries, but it's not that same reputation. In terms of the jungle matchup, though, I actually think it's the same thing, but for LMS, whereas Mlxg is just kind of a slightly worse version than everything that Karsa brings in terms of the consistency for this tournament.
All right, well, there you have it. Our 5v5 finals are locked in. It's time now to turn our attention to the 1v1 semifinals. When we return, NA's Bjergsen takes on Jisoo from Southeast Asia, followed by a best-of-3 between the bot laners that just faced off on Summoner's Rift. Prey and Uzi, let's hit these matchups real quick.
The first one, because it's a best-of-3, I think Jisoo's strategy might not work for him. He's been so close to dying
You were on the
times.
Jisoo hype train at the beginning of the day, Deficio. What happened?
2-1 Jisoo. He's
Okay.
going to take it
There it
down.
is.
How can you defend
Bruises
it like
only.
2-1? You go 2-0.
2-0 Jisoo.
There it is. 2-0
When,
Jisoo.
you know he's confident when he smacks the table like this. Yeah, yes, he's
you hear
sure
it?
of his answer. For
Yeah, we're blowing
What do
out
you
the
got?
mics. All right, what about the ADC matchup?
The ADC matchup, I'm 100% in praise camp here. I'm a little bit biased. I just want Prey to win because
Did you just watch the last game?
I said I want Prey to win
Right.
because of what he is bringing to the 1 versus 1s. You know, the Garen matchup, he's having a lot of fun with it. Yes, Uzi's a great AD carry, and he has a very good chance of winning the matchup. But I just know that Uzi's going to play AD carries. He's going to try hard. He's going to perform on them very well. But I would enjoy a little bit more flavor in the
Jisoo.
finals.
All right, final thoughts here, Frost.
I actually think it's going to be Bjergsen versus Uzi. I know that they want the flavor and the fun, but I'm about the competition and the winning. This is serious. I think they're going the distance.
Well, we'll find out soon enough. Do we get flavor and fun, or do we get try hard? The 1v1 semifinals kick off after the break. But before we go, the pros weren't the only ones duking it out on the Howling Abyss, so we sent our own Avli May to check in on the fan experience.
Hey guys, it's Avli, and we are at the All-Stars 1v1 stage where fans have taken on both Afromu and Sneaky. Let's hear what they had to say.
1v1ing Afromu was awesome. I've been watching him since he was an ADC back when he first started. Afromu. So yeah, I'm following him to 100 Thieves and everything. Awesome.
1v1 and Sneaky was awesome. There was we had a little trouble because we didn't realize the ping would be so high, but it was still pretty fun. But just trying to go back and forth and being able to talk to him beforehand and everything, it was really fun.
I played Soraka. I was gonna try to go. I'm a support main, so none of my champions worked that well 1v1, but Soraka worked. He said he'd mirror match me, so we both did Soraka. Tried to cheese him with the AD Soraka. Didn't work too well, but it was fun.
I did not win. Exhausting Knight Lee Sin does a lot of damage. So yeah, I lost.
That's it for now, but stay tuned for more.